everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for those of you who follow me on Instagram and Snapchat, a few months ago I posted photos and videos of these awesome reeds that I received from this company called Légère. So I've been meaning to make this review video for a very long time, but then life got in the way. When they sent it to me, I had them send it to my P.O. box, which is an hour away from where I go to school. So I had to have my mom check my P.O. box and then bring it over to me an hour away to school. But this was literally the weekend before finals started, so then I just didn't have time to make this review video. And then the following week was of course finals week, and I was just way too busy studying and taking exams. And then the day after finals were over, I was on a flight to Paris for an internship. I brought my clarinet and some of these reeds with me to Paris because I wanted to make this video in Paris. But the reeds that I did bring to Paris were in like this reed case holder, but the ones that I left behind were in their original packaging. And how can I make a review video without showing the original packaging, which is, besides from the reed, my favorite. The packaging was something that I absolutely loved as soon as I opened this box, and I just felt like I had to show you guys, and I couldn't leave that part out because the packaging is so cool and classy. I mean, look at this. This is so cool. I'm obsessed with this. I seriously don't want to throw these away. Look how cool that is. That's awesome. So now that I'm back and into the swing of things, I felt like it was finally time for me to make this long overdue video. So here it is. Okay, so first things first, these reeds are not made of cane. These are cane reeds. These are synthetic reeds. How cool is that? Synthetic is just a fancy word for plastic. In my previous video, I actually used one of these Légère reeds to cover the song One Dance by Drake, and I used the Légère Classic Standard cut in the strength 3.5. So this is just what it looks like, and as you can see, it's a little transparent or a clear color, and it looks really cool on the clarinet. I think this reed had a great quality in that video. However, what took away from that quality is the microphone that I used, because it was just the microphone from my laptop. As you guys know, I don't use fancy equipment because I'm not a sound engineer, so I just use what I have. Okay, so one thing that I found to be really cool right off the bat is that these come in different strengths, including quarter strengths. And this is something I've never seen before, so obviously that blew my mind. For example, like I said, this one is in 3.5, but this is actually 3 1/4. And this is also in the Signature series. They sent me 3 different types of series. This is the Signature, then they sent the Classic, as well as the European Signature series. If you guys go on my Instagram, there's a picture where I lined all of these reeds ranging from like 3, 3 1/4, 3.5, 4, 4 1/4. So here's one in the strength 3. This is the European Signature series. Here's another reed in the strength 3. This is the Standard Classic cut. But both of these, the Classic Standard and the European Signature, are different. Let me just show you guys real quick. So as you can see, the Classic Standard cut has a blue font, but the European cut has a black font, and the Classic is a little more taller or longer than the European, which is a little more wider and shorter, but just slightly. Another unique reed that they sent me is this one in the Signature series in the strength 4 1/4. And then this other unique reed is in the strength 3 3/4, also from the Signature series. So these are just some of the reeds that they sent me. I'm going to list all of them in the description with their cuts as well as their strength number. So another cool thing is that with synthetic reeds, you do not have to wet the reed in order to play. You can literally just put the reed on your mouthpiece and just play. Now, I'm pretty guilty when it comes to not putting away my clarinet back in its case. Sometimes I like to just leave it out because apparently it's way too much work for me to put it away. I don't know, but I just leave my clarinet out sometimes. And with cane reeds, I have to take off the reed from the mouthpiece, put it in my mouth, wait for it to get wet, and then put it back in and then see if it's good enough. But with these reeds, I can just pick up my clarinet and play. Warm up, whatever. Just like that. Okay, so I'm really big on consistency, and as much as I love my Van Doren reeds, one huge drawback that I find to be unacceptable is when I spend all this money on a box of 10 reeds and then I have to play hide and seek or Where's Waldo and find the perfect reed that's not too hard or too soft and that I'm comfortable with that best suits me and my clarinet. I've said this in a few videos before, but I just find Van Dorens to be a little more inconsistent, but with Légère reeds I found great consistency. Another thing that I noticed when I was testing these a few months ago is that I found myself squeaking less than I would on Van Dorens. I can't say for sure that it was the reeds. Maybe it was because I was taking private lessons and my playing got better, or maybe I just got lucky and it was a good playing day for me. I can't say for sure, but I did notice a decrease in squeaking. I did have band rehearsals during finals week, so I was testing these reeds out during that week. Plus I played on one of these reeds during one of our big performances and I just found myself to squeak less. I don't know. I just do think it's funny that when I switched my reeds from cane to synthetic, I did squeak less. So one last thing that I think is super important to note is that these reeds are a little more pricier than your average reed. These cost $25 per reed, but before you guys freak out, in all honesty, I think it's so worth the money because they last a very long time. So the guy that I was emailing back and forth from the company told me that he had one player say that they've been playing on the same reed for 6 years, and I was just like, what? Unbelievable, but at the same time, that's way too long. I don't think I would ever do that. 6 years is a very long time. That's over half a decade. But still, investing $25 for a reed that'll last you up to 6 years, that's amazing. But it also depends how often you play with that reed, if it's every day or every once in a while or every other week. Blah blah blah. Either way, you're definitely getting your money's worth for a reed that will last from months to years, and to me that's just a great investment. I will hands down take one great quality reed over a box of 10 reeds that only one of them works. So if you guys are thinking, wow, I want to try some of these reeds, what I would do if I didn't have all these reeds is I would purchase 1 or 2 of these synthetic reeds just to experiment and play around with, and also switch and rotate them as you would with cane reeds. I don't think that I would use these on a daily basis, such as practicing or performance or during rehearsals. I just think it's nice to switch it up every once in a while. I think it's a good thing to alternate between synthetic and cane reeds just to add a little more variety into your playing. If you guys are school supply shopping for back to school, then I would definitely add 1 or 2 of these reeds onto your list if it's in your budget. Oh, and then one last thing that I remembered, this kind of ties back to consistency, I guess. In the future, if you feel like you've worn out your reed and need a new one, you already know what you're buying right off the bat, and you don't have to play hide and seek to find another perfect reed. You already know what you want. And then if you buy like 2 and you like to switch them out, you can experiment with different strengths instead of having the same one. And it's just so great. I don't know. You guys, I'm so huge on consistency, but can you blame me? Oh, and then another thing I just remembered. Okay, so I've talked to a few people who have already tried Légère, and they said that they run a little more softer. And I see what they mean by transitioning from Van Doren to Légère. A few years ago, I was also experimenting with Mitchell Lurie's, and I really liked them because they were more consistent and they were a little softer, more so than Van Doren's. But I don't really mind my reeds being softer. If I play on a harder reed, then it's more air, more effort, and also a more constricted sound, so I tried to avoid that. So if I can avoid that by using a softer reed, then I'm gonna do it. So that is it for this review video. I'm sorry this is so long. I can already tell this is a really long video, so I apologize for that. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give these reeds an 8 or a 9 because I think they're excellent. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this video, what you think of these reeds, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!